Hi, Larry Keith here with Dynamic Martial Arts. Today, some advice for beginner grapplers. My first piece of advice would be to listen to your instructor. You're there to learn from that person. It doesn't matter what rank you are, what rank they are. If you're there as a student, you're there to learn from that person. I've been in situations where I've had people, I've been to seminars and events where people were lower ranked than me or less experienced, but had great pieces of information. And so you listen to those things. You're there to learn from that person, right? And when you've enrolled at a school, you've enrolled at a dojo, then you're there to listen to the people that are in charge, that are there as professional instructors. That's their job, is to teach you. So listen to what they have to say. Now, one of the things that we discuss a lot, especially in our children's classes, is what we call the 4 laws of focus. Now, I think the 4 laws of focus apply to everybody, and I think that it's probably under-discussed in adult classes. And oftentimes I see videos where an instructor is teaching a seminar or coaching some people, and you see half the people in the room laying around, looking up at the ceiling, or you know, propped over, laying down, kind of halfway paying attention, kind of halfway looking like they're asleep. So the 4 laws of focus include 4 basic things. 1, focus with your eyes. 2, focus with your ears. 3, focus with your mind. And 4, focus with your body. Now, focusing with your eyes is obvious. That's watching the technique being taught. Focusing with your ears is listening to the technique, the information that's being passed on to you from the instructor. Now, that is, you can go a little deeper into that than just, you know, paying attention. Listening with intent. So that means you're paying attention to the details. That means you have potentially questions to ask. You're engaging in a conversation with your instructor. Don't be rude and interrupt, but you know, wait for the right time to ask the question, and don't get so caught up in your question that you miss the rest of the information being passed along to you either, right? You still have to pay attention. You still have to listen. Focus with your mind, processing that information, right? So once somebody gives you the information, you've watched, you've listened, now you've got to process that information and move it into the next step, which is focus with the body. Focusing with the body means that you're going to perform those techniques, right? So that's part of it. The other part of it is, like I was talking about before, where you're laying around and not really engaged. You know, there's these things that we call listening positions. So when you sit on your knees or sit crisscross or standing or propped on one knee, those are all good listening positions. That shows that you're being focused, you're engaged in the lesson being taught, and you're not half asleep and thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or dinner or something else, right? You need to be engaged in the lesson in order to learn really well. You know, those are probably a couple of the most important things to start off with. Remember that when you're in the dojo training, it really shouldn't be a contest arena, right? You're there to learn. The word dojo means a hall of enlightenment, right? So you're there to learn. So think of it as almost like a classroom or a library. You're there to learn the techniques being taught to you. And you're going to learn a lot more from losing than you are from winning, right? So if you're there to think that if you're thinking that you're going to go there and you're going to wipe the floor with everybody in the room, get past that thought, because as a beginner, that's not going to happen. Number 1. Number 2 is that shouldn't be your goal. Your teammates are there to help you grow and learn. They're not the enemy. They're not somebody that you're supposed to be focused on defeating my teammates. That's a pet peeve of mine too. When you see videos or headlines that say learn this technique and defeat the guys at your gym. It's like, I don't want to defeat the guys at my gym. I want to learn from the people at my dojo, and I want them to learn from me so that we can go out and defeat other people. That would be a better formula, I think. So it should be your goal to try to be the person that everybody in the room wants to practice with. So that means being a good practice partner. So being a good practice partner is not somebody who's over zealous and spazzing, what we used to call spazzing out. Now we call it glitching, right? That's more of a modern term, glitching out. So you don't want to be the person who's glitching out. You don't want to be the person who is absolutely strength dependent, who's just powerhousing their way through everything. You don't want to be trying to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're going to miss things. You're going to miss details if you're going too fast. You need to slow down sometimes and study what it is that's happening to you or through you or with your partner. You need to study those things and realize that there's technique there, that it's not just I lucked into some position. You're getting there because it's designed a specific way to get you to those positions and to get you to those submissions. So keep in mind that when you are the person receiving techniques, be it with a drill or even if you're live grappling with somebody, you want to be the person that people enjoy practicing with, and then they're going to seek to practice with you more in the future. The more practice you get with those people, the better you're going to get in the long run. You're helping them get better, and they're helping you get better. So that's an important aspect of being a good partner. If you're the guy who is always hurting people, or as we put it recently in class, if one person in the dojo does not want to grapple you because they feel you're not safe to grapple with, then there's something wrong with how you're grappling. You need to go back and you need to fix those things so that you become the person that everybody wants to practice with. You're going to benefit from it. They're going to benefit from it. Another piece of advice is to remember to breathe correctly. You know, when you're grappling, what's going to happen in the beginning stages is that you're going to hold your breath, you're going to try to use strength, you're going to try to use your speed, you're going to try to use your size maybe. All those things are not using jiu-jitsu. So you have to remember to breathe, because in those cases you will find yourself holding your breath. It's just like when you're lifting weights or working out, right? You have to breathe correctly to get the most out of that workout. And the same thing for when you're doing your jiu-jitsu moves or your judo moves. When you're doing those things, you need to breathe properly. And how to do that is another subject completely. But ask your instructor. Your instructor will help you out with your breathing techniques. The most important thing is just remembering to breathe, because we often will forget once we get in certain positions. So Kyuzo Mifune, the judo 10th degree black belt under Jigoro Kano, said that there are no shortcuts because there is no end. So you have to think in those terms too, that you can't take shortcut from belt to belt to belt. It doesn't work that way. There's no shortcut from a basic technique to the most advanced, really super cool, awesome thing that you saw on the internet. You have to learn the basics. You have to learn your fundamental skills, and you have to work your way up. And you'll appreciate that later on when you find yourself in a stuck spot. You find yourself in a position where the advanced technique that you thought was really cool is not working. You're going to go back to the basics, because basics work much more consistently than the fancy stuff. Anybody who's been doing this for a long time, we figured that out. Thanks for watching this video. I will be making more videos, advice for grapplers, and more technique videos as well. So if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, please be sure to subscribe and click on the little bell so that you receive notifications that let you know when we post a new video, and like and share these videos too. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the mats soon.